Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at another Crackme.1 reverse engineering video. And this one there is no password string in the code. The password will be created during the login process and it's rafdevs please crack me. So I've downloaded it here and let's give it a run and see what happens. So it asks you for a username, so go root, a number, let's go do, and then type in the password. We'll just guess password. Alright, and wrong password. So it says something's is generated during the login process. So I did before, I had a little look and I ran strings on the application. And that just shows the strings that pop up commonly in the binary. And nothing too stand out. And then the same thing as well if you use an strace. So same thing, I ask for a username, number, and then a password. And then wrong password, so nothing really stand out. So let's open it up in Gidger and take a look. So I've imported the binary and we'll go down to main. And we can see over on the left here, sorry, on the right over here. So we can see on the right here, we saw all the stuff we saw in the user interface. So we see it asking for username, a number, some other options we didn't see, like the number is too small, and we obviously got wrong password rather than successfully logged in. So let's go through and start cleaning this thing up. So here we see where it prompts for the username and then does a scanf, which is reading user input and attempting to pass it, and it gets put into local 78, which is a character buffer. So let's change this variable here to username buffer. Excellent. And then a username, the next section we saw was a number, and this gets put into local 80, which here is just an integer. So we'll rename it and we'll call it number. If number is less than 1, then it's too small. Otherwise, if it's greater than 10, continue with this logic here. Then we come to this local 7c value, which is another integer, but this is set to 0. And the thing that stands out to me here is that it's used here, here, and also here and here, and it's being incremented here, and it's being used to index something here. So this makes me think it's a counter that's used in the while loop. So let's rename that. Let's call it counter. And so this looks like to make a little more sense. So there's some casting going on here. So something with the counter, and then the length of the username. And then let's edit this. Rename it again. Username length. This uvar4 is just a long, and it looks like it's only used here. There's no other references to it, so it looks like it's just being cast for some reason. So we'll just call this counter a copy or something. So we're doing a while true, and we're saying if the username length is less than or equal to the copy counter, break. So looks like it's going to iterate over our character buffer. And if we go here, local 58 counter equals the number that we enter, and then an index of the username buffer. And so this looks like it's creating what we'd call maybe like the ciphertext or the password that we got to guess. So we'll call this, just for the sake, hashed password. Hashed password. Alright. So we're taking a username that someone enters, and then we're iterating over it. We're going through each letter because we're starting at 0, and we're making the new letter to be the number that we enter plus that particular character. So it's like a Caesar cipher where every character is being shifted by this number here that we enter up the top. And then this last line just increments the counter. So we go through each letter until we get to the end of the username length, because it's 32 characters, but we might not use all of it. And then down here, let's have a look. So type in password. Another scanf. So we'll call this password. We'll call it hash password guess, because that's what we do. Hash password guess. And then we do a comparison between the hash password guess and the hash password. If it's 0, which means it's right, the string comparison means they're the same string, then we're successfully logged in, otherwise wrong password, which is what we saw earlier. Okay, so what I did is I just took some of the C code and let's reproduce it just so we can learn it better, or can we recreate the results? So I've come up with a little demo here where we'll have we'll simulate what our original username is going to be and our number and our password hash, and we'll encode it and we'll just get it to spit out what the password hash is going to be. So if we have root as our username and our number is 2, this will do like the same steps that we saw in Gidra to create the password hash, just so we can make sure that we have a good understanding of the logic of what's going on there. So if we run it here, we see that the username root and then the number 2, like is the shifting, we can see becomes TQQV. Alright, so now we have our guess. Let's try it. Open the other window here. So let's rerun please crack me. We'll enter our username as root. Our number is 2. And the password hash, which we said is going to be TQQV. So let's try that. And success. We're logged in. So this is pretty cool. It's just pretty much a Caesar cipher where it takes the original username you put in, shifts it, creates a password, and you have to guess it. So it's cool. Thanks for watching. If you have any cool tips or anything, any puzzles you want to try next, let me know.